Hello, my name is Avery, your Firebird reporter, here to bring you the latest in Firebird news. And today we have a special guest, our very own chair of the board, Mr. Tom Arnett. Hello, Mr. Arnett. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you today. How are you this afternoon? And I hope you had a wonderful holiday season.
Hey Avery, it's great to be with you. Thanks for inviting me to join the report. The holidays were great for me. I hope they were good for you and for the other scholars at Compass as well.
All right. Well, I guess let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the questions. My first question for you is, what surprised you or the board from the department presentations?
Yeah. At our last board meeting on December 3rd, it was neat because it was one of our rare in-person board meetings. Because of COVID, we've been mostly over Zoom, so it's just I guess I was not surprised, but just delighted to be in person with a lot of the staff and the other board members and a lot of the visitors for that meeting. Um, in terms of things that happened in the board meeting, um, a number of the presentations had some really good news showing the progress that Compass is making. So, for example, we had some great news about the reclassification of our English language learner scholars. So these are scholars who are showing progress in mastering the English language and being classified as proficient in English. It was also great to see we've got a tool called Lexia that many of the scholars who watch this will probably be familiar with, and to see that the scholars that use Lexia on a regular basis really make progress in their reading. So it was neat to see at Compass. And then I'll say the last thing was just I was impressed with the department presentations they were really well, I thought, to understand. Sometimes the meetings they can be really confusing. There's a lot of education language that isn't common language that we use even in schools that you just see in a board meeting. But I think our staff do a really good job in sharing the things that they share in a way that hopefully makes sense to people, whether you've been to 100 board meetings or if it's your first time.
All right. Thank you for that response. My next question to you is, what aha moment did you or the board have following the division reports?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that really stood out to me in the division reports was the operations division talked about some of the things they're doing to serve McKinney-Vento scholars. And so McKinney-Vento, that's one of those education, California state policy words that can be confusing, but it basically means the scholars who don't necessarily have a permanent residence, that might be, living with relatives or living in a RV. And I was just so impressed by the things that Compass is doing to reach out to those scholars and to try and give them the supports that they need.
All right. Yeah, it's great. Another question I have for you is, what actions did the board take under new business?
Mhm. Well, we had a bunch of business. Um, some of the things that were pretty routine were we had presentations on Compass's financial statements and on the audits of those financial statements, and we reviewed and approved those statements. But I'd say the biggest piece of new business is that we approved the contract for our new CEO, Liz Berner, who's going to be taking over at the helm of Compass. So that was a pretty significant and exciting thing to approve on our agenda.
Yeah. And lastly, last question, what is on the docket for the next board meeting?
Mhm. Well, we've got the approval of our school accountability report cards for the current school year. And then we're also going to be looking at the academic calendar for next school year, looking at updated safety plans for our schools. And then we'll have presentations from our counseling services department and our operations department.
All right. Thank you again, Mr. Arnett, for your time, and I appreciate all the wonderful responses you gave today.
Yeah, thanks again, Avery. Best of luck with
Uh,
everything.
all right. Well, with that being said, that concludes our interview for today. And again, I'm Avery, your Firebird reporter, here to bring you the latest in Firebird news. And with that being said, go Firebirds.